Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Goan, and today I'm going to be talking with you about the things you need to be thinking about while you read. When you read a fiction text, that means it's telling a story or it's made up. Some of the things you need to be looking for are character, setting, problem, and solution. Maybe how did the characters act towards each other? How did they respond to the problem? How did they solve the problem? So when you read a nonfiction text, which means something real, like maybe a text about a spider, you would want to be able to tell things about the spider. Where does it live? How many legs does a spider have? How do they build their web? How do they catch their food? What do they eat? So you should be able to tell someone all those details, or at least if nobody's around, grab a piece of paper and write a small paragraph about your text so that you can see, did I really remember everything that was in that text? So now we're going to read a little book, Splat the Cat, Oopsie Daisy, and I'm going to be modeling what you should be thinking while you read. Okay? So I'm going to go ahead and get started. Splat the Cat, Oopsie Daisy. It was almost springtime. The weather was getting warmer, but the sky was still gray and rainy. Splat thought being stuck inside was a waste of a Saturday afternoon. I know what it's like to be stuck inside. Do you? Splat perked up when a sopping wet Seymour scurried into his room. Scurried. He scurried into his room. Maybe that means he came in the room? But I know he's a rat, so rats sort of crawl quickly. Seymour was carrying a weird-looking seed. "Where did you get that?" asked Splat. Seymour held up the seed and stared at it. Then he shrugged. "I wonder what kind of seed it is," said Splat. "It could be anything." So they're looking at the seed very closely. What is that tool they're using to look at that seed? It makes it look bigger. Wow. Do you know what it is? I hope so. Well, there's only one way to solve this mystery, Seymour. Let's see if we can make it grow. Make a seed grow? I think we need to plant it first, Splat said. But I've never planted anything before. Do you know how to plant a seed? Seymour shrugged. Okay then, let's go to the library to find out, Splat announced. Okay, so now I know that the setting, I think I know what the setting is. I know who the characters are so far, and I think I already know the problem. Do you know? You should be thinking about those things as you read. And then I have to remember, why are they going to the library? Do I remember that? If I don't, I need to go back and reread. Splat and Seymour walked straight to the library to look for a book about gardening. The only problem was that there was so much information. Splat wanted to grow one seed, not a whole field full of corn. So he's in that library and it's big and it has lots of books. I would be lost in there. I wonder what he's going to do. Go home? I don't know. If I couldn't find my book, I would probably get frustrated. After staring at the shelves for a long time, Splat finally asked the librarian, "Isn't that smart to ask for help?" She was happy to help him find the perfect book, and there it is, A Cat's Guide to Plants and Potting by Jack Tabby. The book said the first step was getting a pot and filling it with soil. Not all the soil landed in the pot. Soil? I've never heard that word. What do you think another word for soil could be? Ding, ding. Hint, hint. Next, Splat planted the seed in the dirt. He set the flower pot on a sunny windowsill. I wonder why he sat the flower pot on a sunny windowsill. Then he watered the soil. I wonder why he watered the soil. Not all of the water went into the pot. Poor little Seymour. He got wet. Splat checked the flower pot every day. He hoped and hoped for any sign of a sprout. A sprout? He wondered what kind of plant it would be. Sprout. Maybe the seed would grow into a wild garden of roses. Or maybe the seed would grow into a tree as tall as the sky. Which one would you rather have, a tree or a garden of roses? I like roses. Trees are my favorite. Splat couldn't wait to see what grew. He sang to the seed, la la la. He read to it and told it stories. For 2 whole weeks, Splat waited and waited for the seed to do something. So there he's marking it off on his calendar. Splat was ready to give up. Maybe the seed would never sprout. Feeling terribly disappointed, he watered the soil one last time, just in case. He's watering it. The dirt in the pot shifted a little when Splat added the water. A tiny green sprout sprang up. There's that word again, sprout. What could that be? Splat cheered loudly, but quickly shut his mouth. He didn't want to scare the little plant back into the soil. I think I know what the word sprout means now. I'm so smart. During the next week, the sprout grew a few straggly leaves. Splat was thrilled when a few days later, a little bud appeared atop the stem. Atop? When I see a bud, it must mean atop, must mean on top of. Okay. The next day the bud opened and a bloom blossomed. It wasn't a wild jungle plant or a many-colored rose or a tall, tall tree. It was a flower, a little daisy, and Splat knew just who to give it to. Okay, so he solved his problem. He knows what the flower is. He knows how to plant a seed now. Now, who do you think he's going to give it to? Let's predict. I hope he gives it to his teacher. Do you think he'll give it to his teacher? Who do you think he'll give it to? Okay, let's see. I love it, said Mom. It's the most special flower ever. Splat smiled as he hugged his mother. I grew it myself, Splat said, with a help from Seymour. There they are, happy. Now you should be able to discuss the book and be able to tell someone the setting, problem solution, characters, how did they change in the story, what did they learn. You could say, Splat learned. What did he learn? That's the theme or the central message. So today we read about Splat the cat. We talked about some things you need to be thinking about while you read. Okay, so be able to write, maybe go write a little paragraph about Splat the cat, oopsie daisy. See if you can remember the details. Make it a little fun game. See who in your family can remember the most details about the story. Okay, I hope to see you very soon. Bye.